I think Wall Street's missing it, quite honestly. But wait a second. This isn't the first time they missed it. If you weren't around as Amazon developed it, it started with Jeff and his wife sitting in a garage in Seattle, Washington, sending out books to anybody on the internet. Well, they ran into a problem as they grew. They had more orders from November the 1st to returns on February the 1st that they had to take care of. And so they had to build a data center, if you will, to handle this 3 months rush of activity. So, but then what happened is then there was no need for it for the most part. At least there was excess the other 9 months of the year. So what they did was then basically created a utility called Amazon Web Services where everybody else could come and rent what you use, much as you do for electricity. And that's what created Amazon and Amazon Web Services. Well, the same thing is happening right now. We had all these people jump into this Bitcoin mining, and they're making money Bitcoin mining, and now they're recognizing that there's another demand for their product, and that is AI compute processing. So they're making a conversion, taking the money they make off of Bitcoin mining, investing it into more and bigger data centers, and they are going to become the Amazons, the tech giants of the past 20 years. That's what's going to happen in the next 10 years. And I've identified three of them that I think you really need to take a look at and understand how it's going to happen and how you can profit off of it. So who are these three companies? Well, one is Iris Energy, the other is Applied Digital, and then the third one is Nebitus. Iris Energy is located in Texas, Applied Digital is up in North Dakota, and Nebitus is in the Netherlands. And they are independents who had been mining Bitcoin, who are now processing up to provide AI processing. Now, the advantage they have, much as Amazon had, is they have cheap power because of where they're located. They have a rugged, already built data centers, and then they have teams of employees, people, already running the processes. So all they have to do is buy Jensen GPUs, gear it up, and go forward. Now, you might say, yeah, but the hyperscalers, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Meta already have their own data centers. Well, that's where you're right, that's true, but it isn't going to be enough. They can take care of their own needs, but they can't take care of other people's needs. I recognize this because I use them. I use them on a daily basis. What it used to take my hyperscaler, Microsoft, ChatGPT, roughly 15 minutes to do, it now takes 2 days to do because I have to wait in line. I have to get into the queue for them to take my deep research and get it done with the compute that they have available. Understand that ChatGPT has 600 million unique users in February. That's what they had, 600 million people waiting in line and saying, here's a question I want to ask. Here's some research I want to do. Process it. And Samantha comes back to me and says, I'll get it to you in 72 hours. And I say, I can't wait 72 hours, Samantha. I need it tomorrow morning. She says, I'll see what I can do. They are already maxed out. So let's take a look at these companies and get an understanding of where they are now and where they're going in the future. Let's look at IREN, IREN, which is Iris Energy. They last year did $148 million in revenue. That's up 24% from the prior year. Now, most of that came from Bitcoin mining, 141 million, and their profits are up 28%. Because on that 148 million, they made $24 million. What they're doing with that is now building more data centers so that they can do the processing for the people who want to access the large language platforms. And the large language platforms need them to help teach the system to work better. Now, The AI services for Iris Energy only amounts to 3.6 million of the 148 million, but that's growing just dramatically. And they're projecting that AI server growth to go from 3.6 million to 28 million. That's a 7.7x. They are going to do this by developing new projects. Their Horizon 1 will be a 50 megawatt data center, and that'll be up and running next month. Now, the Sweetwater is going to be a 2 gigabyte, which is quite bigger than the Horizon 1, and that'll be online in 2027. So they have some tremendous growth that they're putting into place to meet this demand that ChatGPT cannot fill right now. Applied Digital, they had revenues of 224 million, and that's earnings per share are up 22%. And they have projects. They're building in Eagledale a 100 megawatt data center, and they're going to upscale that by 2027 up to a 530 megawatt data center. And then Jamestown, these are both in North Dakota, that is a 100 megawatt data center. So they're actually bigger right now by almost 2 times that of Iran. And then we have Nebitus, which is out of the Netherlands, and their revenues are up at 117.5 million. That's up 462% year over year, and they're projecting that will be 4 billion, which is a 34x. They have no debt. They have data centers in New Jersey, Kansas City, Finland, France, and Iceland. This is a company that is going to fill the need of those of us who need a data process for our AI needs. It's projected that the AI demand will grow at a rate of 30 to 40% per year. And the fact is, the tech giants can't build fast enough to keep up with that. So they're going to need to depend on these individual providers. And what is the advantage they have? They already have the land. They already have the low power. Applied Digital subsidizes their power with air turbines, and Iris uses thermal energy in Texas. So they already have a leg up on everybody else. So let's put some relevance to this. Let's look at where was Amazon in 2006. They were doing $26 million in business. In 10 years, that turned into 12.2 billion. Where are the companies, where is Iris now? They're at 148. Again, Amazon was at 26 million. They're at 148. Applied Digital is at 224. Amazon was at 26. Nebitus is at 117. Amazon was at 26. So you can see the growth potential of these three is beyond that of what Amazon was. But yet, Amazon grew by 1,750% from 2006 to 2016. That's the potential here. If and look at it and study it, and you see there are some direct parallels here. We need this infrastructure. These people have a head start because of their jumping into Bitcoin, and now they, like Amazon Web Services, are going to reap the big benefits. Amazon didn't set out to build web service, but they discovered it. These three companies, Iris, Applied Digital, and Nebitus, did not set out to build data centers. They set out to build mining, Bitcoin mining, but now they're going to reap the benefits. Let's face it, the big money in the stock market is to recognize the birth of the next giant. And the birth of the next giant, I believe, is that of data centers. Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, they'll take care of themselves. They'll take care of their needs. But as AI reaches out into Kerry's world and everybody else's world, the needs are going to grow even greater and more exponentially. And the big hyperscalers aren't going to be able to fulfill our needs. So they're going to have to fall back on the three companies I just shared with you, Iris Energy, Applied Digital, Nebitus Group, and others. This is the opportunity of your lifetime. This is your opportunity to discover the next Amazon.com. If you'd like access to this data, if you'd like access to this kind of thinking, if you'd like access to this kind of growth potential, come to Best of Us Investors. Join our community. We're a tribe of about 1,000 people who come together and say, we want to gain advantage and we want to crowdsource. We want to work together to find the stocks that are going to give us exponential growth opportunities. We're not happy with index funds. We're not happy with diversification in mutual funds or ETFs. We want access to the data so that we can make better investment decisions. And if you know how to access artificial intelligence, how to build a queue, my queue to Samantha is 36 lines of questions, of requesting of data, and then another 5 lines of sources for data that they can get that brings it current to today. That's the issue you're going to find that you have with many of these large language platforms. They don't have the data from last night. They are maybe 30 days behind. So you aren't going to get current answers unless you know how to where the sources are that you can supply them with from the data that came out of last night's earnings call so that you can put it into your data research and come up with the decisions that are going to make you money. I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I'm the founder of Best of Us Investors. If you come, you're going to meet my son, Trent, and my good friend, Mark, and we are working together to help you make better investment decisions. And we're going to make this available to you for the outrageous price of less than $1 a day. And we aren't going to push it down your throat and lock you up. We're going to give you a 14-day free trial. And if it works for you and you can make sense out of it and you can make dollars out of it, then come join the tribe, come to the community, and let's grow together.